Tammy, you ready to go to a prom?
We're not going to a prom. Gonna go see our granddaughters. They're serving at a prom.
Oh, I thought we were going to chaperone them.
Because they're just 16. Quit making them older than what they are.
Okay. When was the last time you were actually at a prom?
Oh God. Well, if everybody knows I'm 65, what do you think?
A long time ago.
Long time
50
ago.
years ago. Been a few moons have passed since then. All right. David Rosa asks, how much would you end up paying for a new shade Isabella 8080 carries cream, no pied or brindle with good structure? So this is very subjective. So Tammy and I'll have a conversation about this. She hasn't heard anything about this yet. Let's see what she comes up with. And you don't tell us whether it's a girl or a boy. There's going to be a bit of difference there. We don't know about the pedigree, and those kind of things can make a difference. But generally, Tammy, what do you think? So let's just talk about what a new shade Isabella is. A new shade would be a dog that's little d blue, little b testable chocolate, little co cocoa, 80 full 10 points, no brindle, no pied. Big E, little e carries a copy of cream. So really nice.
2 copies of everything.
Well, not cream.
Oh, I thought you said
cream carrier. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
So not
just
a
one copy of cream.
One copy of cream.
Yes. Okay.
Right. So, but a really nice. I mean, that's powerful DNA, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I know what that dog would be.
No fluff, right?
No fluff. No.
Okay.
So, what
a puppy?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't say the age, but we'll assume it's a puppy.
I'd say at least 40.
Oh, yeah, you're much rather than me. So Tammy's saying 40. I'm saying more like 18. So the problem here is, you've got to remember, the market is just considerably down from what it was. But again, look, there you go. That's exactly what we're talking about.
I don't think so.
If that dog would have been, look, Cody's got a dog like that he bought from England a year and a half ago, and that dog cost $85,000.
Okay.
So the point here would be that prices are definitely all over the place, and so it's difficult to know what really the right number is. All right, that's that one. Don't understand that question. Patrick Rose says, I have a Frenchie girl who's a year old. She's been regurgitating her food and eating it up for the longest. I've tried self-diagnosis. We figured out she's allergic to chicken we feed. With the rice and veggies, we start feeding her that. By the way, throwing up doesn't sound like an allergic problem to me at all. But anyway, you change the diet. We bought gut health chews. I don't know what that is, but you're probably talking about probiotics. That didn't help. The vet suggested to buy a maize bowl to slow down her eating. That sounds like a sensible thing to do. Mm-hmm. She's active, she's fine. She's not an ideal weight, because I don't believe she's getting her nutrients from her food. Alright, so she's saying, what she's saying is any suggestions. So, a dog is regurgitating food can be, and there's a couple of reasons that I think of. You got any reasons that you want to say about this?
No.
Want me to go?
Nope.
Well, one thing is competition. You've got a number of dogs who are trying to get to the food at the same time, and it's a race to who can eat the food before it's gone. So in those situations, you separate dogs from other dogs and you let them eat at their own rate. That's the first thing. The next thing is that you reduce the amount they can eat at one time. So you can have a thing called mega esophagus, where they have an enlarged gullet. It doesn't drain properly down into the stomach, and food sits there in their enlarged gullet, and they then throw it back up. How do you diagnose that? Well, one thing you do is you do an ultrasound and look at it under an ultrasound and see whether they have an enlarged gullet. And if it is, there are things that you can do for surgery on this. But some things that you could do would be to dramatically reduce the amount of food they can eat at one time. Give them small portions very often and see whether that helps the situation. So that is a very simple thing that you could start with right there. So I would recommend that. I don't think that this is a food allergy related problem. And I doubt that it's because of the type of food that you're feeding. So anyway, there we go on that one. Someone's asking about my video from back-to-back breeding. Nat says, I haven't had a litter in nearly 30 years and wasn't really a big-time breeder back then. Can you do a video on how to tell if mum is looking after her pups properly and when to step in? Well, I don't have a video on this, but I do have videos on introducing mums and babies together that you can find on our channel. So, tell me, you want to talk about behavior of mums and when you need to step in?
No. Anytime you hear growling on new moms and she's growling at the baby, you immediately tell her no. Firm, nice, no. Yeah.
So, there's the first thing. First introductions to mum. This is where mums, especially ones that have had a C-section, have got anesthesia, and they're new mums and never had babies before, can be very confused as to what's going on. And they can have some shitty behavior towards babies. Though it's likely time...
And they might possibly be a little not nice
woozy
to you sometimes. You got to be real careful about sticking your face too close.
Good point.
But even though you think you know your dog and your dog knows you, always be aware that she's had that anesthesia, and it makes her kind of funny sometimes, and it could possibly cost you a scar on your face if you're not real careful about
especially
it.
with long-snouted dogs like German Shepherds and things like that. Always be careful about any of those dogs, especially dogs you don't know, by the way. Putting your dog, I mean, we all love dogs, and I do this, but it's a mistake. You want to get down there and be friendly with the dog. Be careful.
Yeah.
You better ask the owner whether this dog is, if the ears, dog's got his ears back or not acting like he wants to be around you. Be very careful. And that's a good point about these new mums. Anesthesia, confused, not knowing what's going on. They can be shitty towards you. They can be shitty towards their puppies.
Just gather her babies away from her until she's had at least another hour of
waking up from anesthesia.
Yeah, recovering.
So at least a couple hours after. So for us, that we've left the doctor's office. It may take an hour to get home. It might be another hour before we've got settled down. So it might be 2 hours from when she's off anesthesia before she's really to the point that she understands what the heck's going on. And you got car here, right? And then also, it's not like with humans where we know that we're having a baby and we're all excited and we've got the baby room set up. Dog's got no idea. I mean, maybe some, but not a lot of what's going on. So that's another thing. If everybody wants to see the new puppies, including all the neighborhood kids, including, don't do that. She just needs to be in a quiet place where the only people who are around her for the first, certainly 24 hours, are people that she knows and likes. And a minimum number of people. Give her an environment that she feels safe in, which is typically a dark, quiet place. For us, it would be a whelping box, crate with a blanket over it, with our whelping system. But if you see her misbehaving, you need to step in there quickly because you can get a dog bit. So,
but you always introduce the puppy one at a time.
We've got videos on this.
Yeah.
So smear maybe some peanut butter on their bums, make mum lick that off so she can get used to it, get the mum's nursing. Get her to the point as quickly as you can where she will let the puppies nurse and not be stepping around and mucking around with them. You've got to get to that point before you let her alone with her babies. Sometimes some dogs want to put puppies in their mouths and move puppies around. It freaks you out.
Sometimes they're hanging with one leg in their mouth and the puppy upside down just screaming. And it's very nerve-wracking. You've just got to be real careful and gentle. Don't startle her.
Yes.
Just go up to her and go, no, your babies, your babies.
When you see that, she's not typically not trying to bite up either puppies. What she's doing is trying to move the puppies around.
So have that blanket on top of your cage and around the sides where she feels like she's in her own little cubby hole with her babies and her only. That helps. So,
if you're going to get to the point where she won't look after her puppies, she's going to bite her puppies, what do you do? Well, put a muzzle on dog. Stop from biting them. You can put pantyhose with a hole cut out in the toe, strapped up behind her head to stop from biting the puppy. And ultimately, if that's not going to work, you have to separate her from her puppies, and she can't have her puppies. Then you're going to surrogate mum with all the complications that go along with that. So you want to get this fixed early. You do not want to get this out of control. If you go 48 hours she's not looking after her babies, she's decided that you're the mum at that point, and it's your job, and you just screwed up, and you've now got 3 weeks of misery. So get past this. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you got some good information out of it. I hope you subscribe to our channel. Brought to you by mybreedersupply.com. We've been in business for over 8 years. We manufacture products to help you have successful breedings, successful whelps, and successful puppies. We've introduced a new subscription service, canineconnect.com. It's a 1-year subscription for $129, and for that you get 2-day free shipping on all of your orders. You get 5% off every order that you place, and you get direct access to our support line to help you with products that you buy from us and general questions about breeding your dogs. It's really a great deal. I hope you subscribe to that. Now the disclaimer. I'm not a licensed veterinarian. I'm not a professional health giver, but I am a guy that's been breeding dogs successfully for over 20 years. Any information you get from my videos is purely at your own risk. If you have any doubts about any of this stuff, you should definitely seek the help of a licensed professional. Again, thanks for watching. Have fun with your doggies. Bye, buddy.